Hello and welcome to Channel Sport this morning. It's great to have you join us again. I am Tayo Salam.
And I'm Cecilia Omogben. This morning, we're not starting on a very good note because of what is happening with the Athletics Federation of Nigeria. Only 12 athletes have been cleared to participate at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics track and field event because 10 Nigerian athletes have been banned because they missed out on the out of competition, whereabouts competition at tests. So, and some of these athletes include Ruth Usoro, who qualified for the long jump and triple jump event, the first Nigerian to do that after a very, very long time.
Terrible news are coming out of Tokyo. Disheartening. I imagine a lot of these athletes are very livid this morning. We're going to be focusing a great deal on this terrible developments coming from the Tokyo 2020 Olympics later on the show. But a bit of, light at the end of the tunnel, a bit of good news to balance out all of this drivel coming out of Tokyo is that a Nigerian swimming sensation, I think we've got a Nigerian swimming sensation on our hands, Abiola Ogunbanwo, she set a national swimming record that was in the 100 meters freestyle yesterday.
Yeah, a record that has been standing since 2007 after she was able to swim under 1 minute. Okay, also on the program, Nigerian Professional Football League is gradually coming to an end. We're having a comprehensive review of match day 36. Aqua United not letting anything slip. They are still 6 points ahead of every other team that is chasing them with a plus 27 goal difference. When you see that, you know that all they have to do win their next home match, and then they are champions.
Cecilia, I mean, yeah, at this point, it is safe to say that Aqua United will emerge champions of the Nigerian Professional Football League, barring any major dramatic events in the last 2 match days. Champagne is definitely on ice, and they will be popping it if they manage to win their game on match day 37 during the weekend. All right, congratulations in advance to Aqua United, the promise keepers. All right then. It's day 6 of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Of course, you're welcome to our coverage of the Summer Games going on in Tokyo right now. We're going to give you a Team Nigeria update. Just the one athlete in action yesterday for the country. That was in the swimming event. You heard about her already. That was in the headlines. Abiola Ogunbanwo competing in the 100 meters freestyle event for the ladies. And she placed first in heat 1, but unfortunately, a time of 59.7 seconds, which happens to be a national record, was not enough to secure a spot in the semifinals.
Not enough at all, but the good news is the fact that for Ogunbanwo, before her, you've had other 10 athletes have competed in the swimming event, and for the women, none of them had been able to, get under that 1 minute mark. The other lady who got the best record, Monu, she did that since 2007, and that record was 1 minute 50 seconds. But for Ogunbanwo, she was able to do that in 59, although it wasn't enough for her to qualify for the semis, but then it's a national record, and she's just 17.
It's a big deal.
So she's one of the youngest athletes in Tokyo. You also have another 17-year-old girl who was 13 when she was in Rio, and now she's 17. But then she was also in they were in the same heat.
Okay.
But she was under, I think she swam like 1 minute. But then that's what was able to get under 1 minute, which is something that we can actually cheer about and celebrate this morning, because Abiola, she's growing, she's young, and with time, I think she'll be able to get a better mark, because if you check the other heats, everyone was actually swimming 52, 53, I'm like 54. Right. That was it. And overall, I think she finished like 50th or something. I mean,
it was supposed to be.
The other heats were actually very, very fast. And the top 16, as usual, make it to the semis. So she couldn't just make it into that because of her time.
No, I mean, you've said it all, Cecilia. She's a great prospect. I really feel we've got a swimming sensation in our hands. The fact that she's 17, especially, which means come Paris 2024, she's going to be around 20 years old, and then she should have progressed in her career. And we're expecting big things definitely from this young lady. And we are delighted to tell you guys that we've got Abiola Ogubawo joining us from Tokyo. Abiola, good morning. It's great to have you on Channel Sports this morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, first of all. How are you feeling?
I am ecstatic. I have no words. I'm just grateful for the time that I posted.
I can imagine. So before we go into what went down yesterday, can you just give us a summary of the journey, how this journey to becoming an Olympian started?
Sure. I started swimming when I was very, very young. My older sister used to swim competitively as well. And so I kind of joined her. And I trained in Australia for a bit, and then the Nigerian Federation gave me the opportunity to train in Russia under FINA. And so I moved there around 7 months ago, and I've been training for 7 months, and now I'm at the Olympics and managed to get a Nigerian record, which I'm grateful for.
3, as they say, right?
Yeah, interesting, Abiola. I believe that immediately you stepped, into that particular swimming event, seeing the top stars that were around. What was it like having your dreams come true so early at just 17?
It was amazing, but I will admit I was very, very nervous seeing all these big stars, but it was a source of inspiration. And in the next few years, that's where I want to be.
Yeah, interesting. Do you know what you've done? I mean, we've had a record that had stood for since 2007. Ngozi Monu's. Yeah. I'm not surprised about it because, I mean, when it comes to the 400 meters and the 200 meters, you already have that record. Did you ever imagine that you'd be able to break this long-standing record?
Well, no, but I saw it as a goal, and every single day I worked hard to break that record, and I'm glad that it finally happened, especially at Olympics, and I'm glad that I get to make Nigeria proud. It still hasn't hit me yet. I'm still celebrating. It's amazing.
No, I can imagine. Abiola, let's go back to that race itself. You were in heat 1. You started very well. You finished strongly. You won the race 59 on the 4 seconds. But then you had to wait for the remainder of the heats to happen. What was that? Yeah. I mean, describe that moment, those moments where you were waiting for the other races to be completed so you could see if you made it into the semis.
For me, it was a great moment actually, because I got to see the other girls swim, and I knew there was a possibility I wouldn't make the semifinals, but that was a great opportunity for me to watch how they swam, watch their own techniques, their own skills, their own tactics, and really implement that into my swimming and into my racing. So it was a good opportunity for me to not necessarily see if I'm going to make the finals, but to see their tactics, their technique, and really take that on board.
Great experience for you, indeed, Abiola. So what's next now? I talked about how there's a very good chance Nigeria's got a swimming sensation on their hands. The next Olympics is in Paris in 2024. What are the plans going forward for you?
My plans are simple. I don't like to over-exaggerate things. I like to keep things simple. So it's basically just train and work with my coaches to ensure that I'm prepared and see an improvement, basically.
Okay. I mean, I understand that you said you're still celebrating because this is more like a dream for you. I mean, you're still in that mood of celebration. In all, what are you going to take away from Tokyo after completing your event?
Well, what I'm going to take away is that anything is possible if you work hard for it. I wouldn't imagine I would be in this position, but at the same time, I know that I worked hard for it, and I'm grateful that it all worked out for me in the end.
Okay, Abiola Agumba, I want to thank you so much for taking our time to join us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, all the best.
Thank you so much.
All right, bye. All the best.
See you.
So, I mean, very interesting young, lady right there, Cecilia. She sounds very excited for obvious reasons. And just imagine in a few years' time from now, Nigeria producing a multi-medalist at the Olympics. We've had situations where Michael Phelps has won more medals than the country. As many medals as the whole country. No, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
my point is, there are certain sports where, like swimming,
one person can win as much as 8 medals. And,
so many events. Why
so many
not?
events,
And she's a very talented swimmer at 17. She's had the opportunity to go to the FINA to train, and she's only going to get better as long as she remains focused and she stays grounded. And she seems to be a very level-headed person, just from the conversations I've had with her in here and outside of this place.
Yeah, it's interesting because if you take a look at our record, I mean, the numbers of athletes have competed, but we have Musa Bakari, 92, Joshua Ikhakomin, that was also Barcelona, 92. Then Rio 2016, Rachel Tonjo, and also Samson Okwapo. I mean, these athletes have been at the Olympics, but then there's nothing came out of it. But if you check, I think maybe progressively with time, if we pay more attention to the sport itself.
Yeah.
I'm not just speaking unfortunately. I mean, let me just say this. She was able to make it to the Olympics because of where she had to go to. I mean, she got a scholarship for FINA, and then she had to go to Kazan in Russia, where she had to train. Imagine if she was here. I remember at Sports Festival, I spoke with some of those athletes.
You saw a lot of them.
The sisters, for instance, I mean, where one person won about how many medals, about 8 or thereabouts. I mean,
that's a prospect.
The Bayelsa
right
girls.
There.
Prospect right there, and ask them about their dream of the Olympics. They're like, no, they just want to compete and make some money, and then that's it, because they know that they can't even dream of competing at the Olympics. Why? Because I mean, they've been swimming for so many years, and the support system is just not there.
That's an indictment
it is.
on the swimming authorities for talents like that to even aspire to want to go to the next level. It's an indictment on the federation. Whatever they're doing, obviously, and working. And they need to step
them young up. Earlier.
Yeah.
So by the time they are like at that particular age, 20, 21, 22, they're already at that level. If you see a 22-year-old girl who is still struggling to make the Olympics at 22 at the local level, I think it's hard. Rachel Tonjo was in Rio, but she was at the sports festival. She didn't even qualify for Tokyo because I mean, you just need that support system, international tournament, for you to be able to get there. So hopefully they can take it seriously. And we've talked about athletes that we saw at the sport festival, for instance, Stephanie, I mean, a gymnast who is 10 years old, I'm saying, like, who's going to adopt her and just take care of all the expenses, the traveling that she needs to do, to be at that Olympic level at a very young age. But no one is talking about that. Maybe we'll remember her when she's now 20 or 22, and then she'll start going forward. By then. That's it.
It'll be almost too late by then. I mean, to get to the elite level, to that Olympic level, like I said, you've got to put in the work. Over 10,000 hours of practice, and going to competitions as well to help your developmental stage. And if these talents are just left on their own, just with their parents, and they're split it to, they can't really achieve
They can't really achieve more because most of them, their parents are the ones that are shouldering the whole responsibility.
Yeah, so that's the message, a very clear one, to the sporting federations in the country to get acts together. We've been saying this for a long time. Of course, it sounds like a broken record, but we're not going to get tired of talking about it. They need to get the acts together. There's so much more to come out of this country in terms of sporting talent, and it's a shame we're still taking baby steps. All right, still checking in what's going on in Tokyo. The good news is out of the way. Unfortunately, we've got to talk about the bad news as well to Cecilia. 10 Nigerian athletes have been declared. Okay,
yeah. I want to talk about the 12 that have been cleared because it's ludicrous. You like, okay, these things happen. You have 20 athletes. 20 athletes were banned from competing because they missed that out of competition test, right? Athletics Integrity Unit released that. And then, out of the 20, 10 are Nigerians.
Cecilia.
And take a look at the countries. I mean, Morocco, Kenya, Belarus.
Bahrain.
I mean, these are the countries Nigeria is actually competing Ethiopia with this country because you cannot actually do
Put
the
your
proper
house in
team
order.
at the right time. And at
Yeah.
the end of the day, where would the blame go to? Everyone talking about the ministry or whatever. But if the Athletics Integrity Unit are telling you, you have to clear your athletes. Now, these are the names. Now, Favor Ofili, my heart breaks for her. Ruth Usoro at the very first Olympics, when Ruth Usoro got the long jump,
And the triple jump,
I mean,
and it was
she
a
was
big
excited. We
deal
spoke
for
to her on the
everyone.
show. I mean, she talked
No,
about the fact that we have so many athletes that are going this time around, and she was really happy. Talked about Esi Brume, and she was happy. And then Rosemary Chukuma, I don't even know how she will be feeling right now
No,
because
the-
Rosemary Chukuma was also supposed to make her debut at the Olympics also.
Cecilia.
Now, Annette,
Cecilia, I can tell you that these athletes will be livid and they'll be shell shocked on what has just happened now. The fact that they've come so close to realizing the dreams of becoming Olympians, and all of a sudden, boom, they're banned. They're declared ineligible because they failed to meet the minimum requirements for the testing under Rule 15 of the anti-doping rules for category A federations in the run-up to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. For the records, Category A federations are deemed to have the highest doping risk and considered a threat to the overall integrity of the sport. The key requirements in the rule is that every athlete must undergo at least 3 no-notice out-of-competition tests, both urine and blood, conducted no less than 3 weeks apart in the 10 months leading to major events.
okay.
I'm speechless. I was speechless when I saw the story. Then imagine what these athletes are feeling
Chidi
like.
Okezie has been having his best season so far.
Look at the names.
And Chidi Okezie was the one who ensured that we'll qualify for the missed relay.
4x4.
400
Yes.
meters. And he will not be at the Olympics. I don't know what we're going to do with the 4x400 meters missed relay. I don't know
Yeah,
how we're going to go
obviously
about that. And Annette, for instance, broke the African record for how many times?
Multiple times.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Earlier
For
this year,
Hammer,
and
yeah.
then she is not going. Chioma too is not going. Knowledge or move on.
You
she's
meant
not
Knowledge
going. I
at,
meant knowledge. I mean,
Ayaba
the
Tech.
400 meters and 4x400 meters women. Yeah, but I mean, they were Yinka Jai, for instance. I mean, these ladies. I mean, they put in their all. All of them travel all the way from the U.S. Came for the national trials to ensure they qualify. Only Ruth was already qualified for the Olympics, but she just wanted to be home for the first time. I remember how she started at 13. You know, at the stadium, you know, no
She's
shoes
come a
and
long
everything.
way.
And then she was able to get the scholarship to the U.S. Now she did everything, put in the works to qualify. But okay.
Cecilia, it is a very, very
There's a whole
disheartening situation concerning Nigeria. Major gaffe, whatever you want to call it. But it is what it is. Nigeria will have to proceed to the track and field events, which is starting tomorrow with just 12 athletes. And they are Enoch Adegoke, thankfully. They have been declared eligible for this event. There's also Tobiloba Amusha as well. So it's a Brume, Enekwechi Chukwebuka, Patience Okon George, Sharisha Shakiri is there as well, Nathaniel Sampson, Grace Nwokocha, Divine Oduduru, Ojeli Emmanuel, Okagbari Blessing, and Nse Malbong Uko. So those are the 12. I mean, that's a lot.
Okay, you take a deep breath.
It's just crazy that Nigeria's hopes of actually, making
Diminished.
making a serious impression in the track and field has been diminished.
Then you ask yourself, the 4x100 meters women that will qualify now, you're having Rosemary Chukma. She will not be part of that.
Out, yeah.
And then how do you expect now Blessing Okagbari to kind of carry all the load once again?
They'll have to draft some of these other people there. They'll draft Ase, they'll draft Toby. I mean, thankfully, that's what it is. I mean, you can't do a relay with just 2. So Ase and Toby Loba will have to be drafted into that situation. It is an all-round sad situation, and it's not the first time it's happening. Nigeria embarrassing itself on the global stage, and we're hoping this is the very last time. We need to go on a break now. When we come back, we're taking reactions from Blessing Okagbari. You can imagine how she's feeling, even though she is eligible to compete. We also got reaction and response from the sports ministry. Join us again. Welcome back to Channel Sport this morning. We're still, talking about what happened yesterday, developments from from the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Very sad news concerning Team Nigeria for the track and field. 10 athletes banned. We're left with just 12 for the event, which is going to start tomorrow. It's a very unfortunate situation indeed. Austin Okonapman is ready to join us, correspondent from London. We also have Bada Akitunde Johnson joining us from the island as well. We're going to be talking about this and a lot more on the show. Good morning, guys. It's great to have you on the show. Austin, Bada.
Good morning, Tayo. Good morning, Cecilia. Good to see you, Bada.
Hi, Austin. Morning, Tayo. Morning, Cecilia.
Great to have you guys join us this morning. We're going to mention the 10th athlete staff. Tima, God bless.
God bless.
Yeah, she's the last one that she also did not make it.
So
those athletes. Okay.
So Austin, before we go to Austin and Bada quickly, let's take the reactions from the ministry and Blessing Okagbare as well too. From the ministry, first of all, Cecilia, this is what they have to say. Their response to the situation. It's going to come up shortly, and we're going to get the reactions of Bada and Austin Okonapman. And the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development regrets the unfortunate developments of 10 Nigerian track and field athletes not meeting the testing conditions of the athletics integrity units. The 10 athletes are principally alternate and foreign student athletes whose tests did not meet water sample collection analysis standards. The situation is being managed by the ministry and AFN, which have requested all athletes at the Games Village to remain focused to doing our motherland proud. It is worthy to know that the 10 athletes did not test positive for any banned substance, but rather did not meet up with the last of the 3 out-of-competition tests due to the aforementioned reasons. And that's from the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development. Of course, Blessing Okagbare as well too has been talking, and she says, I have said it before and I'll say it again. If you do not know the sport and not passionate about the athletes, then you have no business being an administrator. The sports system in Nigeria is so flawed, and we athletes always end up on the receiving end. Blessing Okagbare, Nigeria's foremost and most high-profile track and field athletes. Austin and Bada, over to you.
Another disappointing show of shame with the administration of athletics in Nigeria. I remember when they were starting their drama, I said it over and over again that these guys will show their incompetence, and then it's the athletes that will suffer the fall. They're not ashamed about it. I'm actually pissed with that statement from the ministry that said principally alternate athletes. No, Annette isn't an alternate athlete.
There you go.
Philly isn't alternate.
There you go.
Soro isn't alternate. These are young athletes who are having a fantastic season, and we were looking forward to seeing them at the Olympics, even if they don't win. And it's such a shame that this is happening because a majority of it falls on administration. Now I hear, oh, Gusso did not release the password of the AFN email. It's so shameful that we're going through all of this. And they know, but they just don't care because it's not their career. I've said it over and over again. And this should pass the final message. Blessing Okagbare was very right. If you have no business with sports, not just athletics, with sports in Nigeria, if you're a politician, go face your politics ambition. If you have nobody that doesn't understand how sports is administered, just stay where you are and find another way to earn a living. But this morning also, guys, let me just admonish the athletes also. When you're going for a big competition as the Olympics, Favor of Philly ask questions. Chioma asks questions. The AIU, they know what they're doing with this out-of-competition test. That's why it's no notice. Because they know some athletes cheat. They use drugs to prepare for major competitions. We saw this with Christian Coleman, guys, didn't we? So the whereabout form now, you have filled it. You've told them, for instance, Cecilia, you've said you're going to be at the supermarket from Monday to Friday, but so time. So they can pop up on you at any time just to get samples. So can you guys just talk to yourselves? Oh, Ese Brome, you've been cleared for the Olympics. What are the things you've done? Oh, in Semabon, you've been cleared. Blessing Okagbare. Can they all just come together and talk? Because your administrators have failed over and over again. Don't trust them. Take your destiny into your hands. Protect your own career. I'm so pissed this morning that I was like, how am I even going to come on this show and talk? I'm trying to be professional, but I think I'm doing a good job.
Not
because
bad.
these things aren't. But athletes, please look after yourselves.
There's enough blame to go around indeed. Bada, what do you have to say on this?
Well, I mean, I read a neatly written press statement. Shows that at least they have a PR unit that has a sense of what they should be doing. But the rest of them are just a bunch of jokers. You know, you obviously drop the ball and put the ambitions of this young talent in jeopardy at the biggest sporting event in the world, and then you come out with a press statement that is riddled with falsehood, outright falsehood, damage limitation at best. The incompetence is staggering, and it continues to plague our sport, not just athletics, as Austin says. I mean, it's so common with sport administration, which it must be said is an extension of the bureaucracy that pervades the political governance space in Nigeria. When you put square pegs in round holes, this is exactly what you get. People who only care about their pockets, who have absolutely no shame. I mean, what has happened now should embarrass not just the sports ministry, not just the Athletics Federation. It should embarrass every Nigerian or anyone who has any association with this country. Unfortunately, there is no consequence. These people will carry on in office. They will carry on doing this damage that they do, and it is the athletes that are suffering. You can imagine the disappointment of traveling all the way to the Olympic Games and not being able to participate.
Just imagine.
You can imagine the psychological impact of that. Haven't prepared, haven't done your own bit, just because some people just managed to bungle what should be a basic administrative procedure. You know, so for me, eggs on our faces yet again. I'd like to see, you know, if it ever can happen, some consequence for you know,
for the corporates
things like this.
Yeah.
People losing their jobs, people being called out. I mean, all of that, you know, PR nonsense doesn't hold water. Nigerians aren't stupid. We can see through it. So, I mean, I hate to have these conversations. I was going to ask to pass. But, yeah, I'm telling you, the truth is what the truth is, and it's just not good enough, and it can never be good enough.
It's really heartbreaking, you know, when things like this usually happen. And then what I'll take away from what Austin said is the fact that it says when they mention alternate athletes, and I'm like,
does it matter?
What do you mean? Yeah, and then some of them in colleges. Yes, I know Ruth Usoro into college, Favor Phil into college. What happened to Chidi Okeze, for instance?
So what? They're all under a federation.
So they're all under a federation. If you check on your athletes regularly and you monitor them, you will know what's happening. But if you don't do that, that's when you will not know until the Olympics, and you know that, oh, they've actually not done this. But if you check on them every now and then, you should be able to know what these athletes are up to. So maybe the new AFM board or whatever they want to do, once they resolve their own issue, which I believe they've been able to do, or maybe the ministry can take the bulls by the horns and see how it can actually sanitize the whole system. All your athletes that you know are national athletes should be checked upon every 2 months, 3 months. There's something stopping you from picking up a call and picking up your phone, or send them an email, or ask them what are they up to, what are they doing. So if you are able to do that, they will not be having issues like this. So the not checking on some of these athletes might just be one of the reasons why we are having
Are
this
you
issue.
saying these simple things you've just mentioned? The federations,
they're so difficult. You need to,
so
you need to talk to some of these athletes. They invite athletes without even knowing that some of them are even injured.
It's sad.
It happens all the time. So if you check on these athletes, you should be able to know what they are going through and not wait till the final moment before you start thinking of how you're going to do out of competition test or whatever is happening. But let's
what I would just round off on this, just for now, because a lot is still going to come out of this. Definitely, for once, like Bada said, I hope that this time around, the people responsible for this this negligence, or however you want to describe it.
A mail that was sent earlier that the former federation hijacked password Ayo, so let's leave
So
that.
nothing is going to happen,
Nothing.
right? Is that what you're saying?
You remember
so
what
that
happened
means,
at the World Championships, right?
So that means...
Okay.
So that means it's...
We need
that
to
means
leave.
we're not
We
going
need to leave
anywhere.
this track and field now because we'll spend the whole time
Yeah,
talking
of course.
about this. Let's just
it
quickly...
starts tomorrow,
It starts
so we'll
tomorrow.
focus
Yeah, we'll focus
more
more on
it
the
tomorrow.
athletes that will be competing. And at that time when we come here, the 100 meters prelims would have,
Be
gone through, and
concluded,
maybe
yeah.
Blessing and of course Blessing
Grace.
and Grace Nwankocha would have finished their race. So quickly, let's listen to some of these athletes who've already competed at
Thankfully.
the Olympics, but then they could not just make it past the initial stage. We'll start with Edem Offiong. She won again, but the second one, she lost. Her experience and also what she's taken away from Tokyo.
I was having so many thoughts in my head, like because of the COVID, I was locked down in Spain for over 7 months. And I was very worried because I was thinking maybe the Olympic was not going to go again. So all of this was causing a lot of distraction. But I am so happy that we made it here. This place is very beautiful, and there's something I just experienced here. Is the sunset, like 4:30 a.m. For me, I was very surprised. The first day when I noticed that, it was like, who put on the lights in my room? It's so nice to be here, really. The experience is so wonderful. It's something very exciting. I was so happy. The feeling was like I already won a medal at the Olympics. Because this lady in question, she's very, very good. She's number 16 in the world. And I am like 120, so it's very big, I saw she was crying uncontrollably, but there's nothing we can do with sport. It's either you win or you lose. For me, I was very happy. And again, Segun Tirola, he helps a lot.
Yeah, that's Edem Offiong just talking about her experience and what she's witnessed in Tokyo.
Yeah, she got to the second round. She won the first game against the Chinese. But the Chinese, when it comes to table tennis, they're almost unbeatable. And Effiong, Edem, she had to bow out in the second round. Of course, we also had our debutants in the badminton events as well too. We have Godwin Olufwa as well as Juwon Anolapo. They played in the doubles. They lost all the group stage games as well too. But Juwon has been also reflecting on his Olympics experience.
We gain a lot of experience from playing the best players in the world. So, and also having this kind of opportunity to play in the Olympics is an achievable one for me. So the initial goal was to make the Olympics, and which we have achieved. So we're just here to just have fun and catch the flow. Paris Olympics, to win a medal, we just have to can have enough tournaments and also have a training tour. So if we can train or abroad, we can have good facilities and also have good quality training. Because if we have good quality training, we can be able to match these players. I don't see anything they're playing that we cannot play. We have the passion, we have the zeal to do better. But if we have a good quality training and good quality coach, I think we'll do better. We can be able to come out in a flying color in Paris.
All right, that's Godwin Olufwa took part in the badminton doubles event alongside Juwon Anolapo. Cecilia, great learning curve for a lot of these guys, and hopefully going forward, they get the support are required to go to the next level. The Olympics is the highest of levels, and I mean, you can be great on the continents, but to compete at that level, there's a lot more needs to be done for them.
Definitely a whole lot more needs to be done for them. Before we wrap up the Olympic segment quickly, let's just take a look at the football event.
Football.
I mean, Bada, I know you're really eager to talk about this because some countries that you expected to make it to the quarterfinals, they are not there. Spain, no, not Spain. Yeah, Germany, Spain, for instance, and France. Germany and France did not make it now. Take a look at the quarterfinals. Yep. You have Spain facing Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire managed to get into the quarterfinals, but then up against them will be Spain, Japan and New Zealand, Brazil and Egypt, South Africa and Mexico. So Germany is not here, France not here, but for the African nation, the teams they will be facing, they will be coming back
Really?
after this
Nah,
round.
don't rule
Brazil,
them out
Egypt,
so
Spain, Cote d'Ivoire.
fast.
Bada, quickly on this one. What do you think? What's going to happen?
Chances of the African teams. On paper, pictures do look daunting, I must say, but the Spanish team hasn't exactly excited me in this competition. They played in the same group with Argentina and Egypt. I think, and they struggled. They've got some of the players that played at Euro 2020 on display, yet they haven't sparkled. And I do believe that if they keep playing that way, then the Ivorians do have a chance, to be honest. The teams that have stood out for me in that draw for the quarterfinals have to be the two Asian teams. Japan have got 9 points from 3 games. They've been a joy to watch. The Japanese are such a good team. Great attacking, setup. They score goals in abundance. And then the Koreans, who got, I think, 6 points from their own 3 games. Other than that, the rest, well, maybe the Mexicans as well. The rest of the team seem on the same level, if you ask me. And I think any of those teams can go through. But I think the Egyptians have the more difficult draw. They've got a more difficult fixture. To be honest, I don't see how they go through. They've got a solid defensive team, but they just don't score enough goals. And coming up against a team with the attacking verve of the Asians, I think that the Egyptians have got to their final bus stop. But the Ivorians do have a chance against Spain. If they can keep compact and take their chances, they may just go through. Like I said, the Spaniards have been slow starters in this competition. And they really don't scare anyone on the evidence of how they struggled in the first three group games. So I wouldn't say that it's curtains for both African teams, even though the Egyptians play Brazil, who have Richarlison, who's got 5 goals, who have looked good. They beat Germany, I think. Accounted for the reason why the Germans haven't gone through actually. So Egypt for me probably a bridge too far. Brazil, but Spain against Cote d'Ivoire, maybe the Ivorians actually do have a chance.
Indeed. So Brazil might just be the end of the road for Egypt. For Spain and Cote d'Ivoire, they've got a chance. Japan to go through against New Zealand, right? Then South Korea, Mexico.
Yeah. The Kiwis. The New Zealand team has been quite brilliant in this competition. I think Chris Woods, the Burnley guy, maybe give them some kind of a peep into the copybook of his manager in the Premier League, because they look like Burnley, to be honest. Very plucky side, very defensively solid. Yeah, very defensively solid. But I think that they've overachieved and won't go any further from it. Like I said, the two Asian teams have been the standout performers in the male football competition of this Olympic Games. The Japanese, my best team so far, very impressive team. And the Koreans as well scored a lot of goals. So for me, I think that Brazil will go through, Japan will go through, Korea will go through, and Spain are slight favorites over Cote d'Ivoire. But if Cote d'Ivoire defend very well and they take their chances, the Ivorians may have a chance.
Yes, indeed. The Ivorians have Eric Bailly in defense. They also have some very decent players as well, to Amadou Diallo as well as Frank Casey in midfield. Bada, thank you very much for joining us today. Hopefully we can do this again next week.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome back to Channel Sport this morning. Time to take a look at what went down on match day 36 of the Nigerian Professional Football League, where Akwa United have taken another step towards winning the first NPFL title. Let's take a look at the results for you. Akwa United went to SC Ifeanyi and got 1-1 draw. Wiki Tourist defeated Atlanta 4-2. Lobby Stars and Aimba battled to a 1-1 draw. Same result between Warri Wolves and Jigawa Golden Stars. Sunshine Stars are boosting their relegation hopes with a 3-2 victory over Plateau United. Kwara United 1-0 over Kano Pillars. Bia Warriors 5-1 against Adamawa United. Adamawa are relegated already. The Kada 0-0 against Nasri United. Rangers 1-0 over Katsina United. And in Lagos, ended 2-2 between MFM and Rivers United. Austin, it's all about Aqua United. Champagne is on ice. Barring any major drama in the last 2 match days, they will be champions.
I think in their mindset they're already champions, because they're playing this sort of football that, shows, their zeal to win a maiden MPFL title. But what a story. We must celebrate this team. I kept saying it that for a team to go 18 games unbeaten in the Nigeria Professional Football League, then that team has got some quality. Kennedy Boboye isn't getting enough praise as it should be given. For a coach that went on, I think, did it with Plateau United, and then now about to do Aqua United again. He deserves our salute this morning because he's been able to keep that team together. Even when they lost in the Freke Effiong, the team kept on pushing. Charles Ashimene stepped up. Ubong Friday is scoring goals now. You can check at the back where Olisanda is always reliable. In midfield, everybody doing their bits to ensure that they keep the promise. So next match, win it, they're crown champions. And you can tell with the way they go away. Playing FC Fine Uba was a very difficult game because the Anambra Warriors are fighting relegation and they got the job done. So it's all in their hands now. I think about 5 match days ago, I said it, Aqua United, they have their destiny in their hands, and it's only Aqua United that can stop Aqua United from winning the league.
You're right, and that's exactly what they've done. They've held on tighter to their destiny and looks like they will be champions. Let's take a look at what the table looks like. I talked about the major drama that could happen in the last 2 match days for Aqua United to be, overtaken from that top position. They've got 68 points, 6 ahead of their nearest challenges, Nassau United, who have inferior goal difference as well. So the drama I was talking about is if Aqua United lose their remaining 2 games, Nassau United gonna win the remaining 2 games and score loads of goals to overtake Aqua United.
How many goals are 30?
Plus 27 goal difference. Then Nassau United will be champions. Or is it Aimba that can do that, Austin? Which one of the sides can do it?
I think the permutation is very tight because if you look at both teams, in fact, the top 3 teams, you can tell that Aqua United has got a better form, lately. Nasarawa United, yes, they score goals. They've shown that they want it. But I think it was on match day 35 when they all needed to get a point or win away. They all lost. Talk about Nasarawa, Aimba, Kano, Rivers United. So that was when the advantage properly fell on Aqua United. And but for the draw that Nasarawa United got yesterday against Dakada, it would have even been far away from them. Kano Pillars lost to Kwara United. Aimba drew with Luby Stars. Rivers United, they were so close to winning against MFM. They played 2-2. So I think the odds favors Aqua United. They just need to put themselves together, win their next match, and that's it. This match between Rivers United and MFM, guys, it got me screaming. I kept itching. And why am I not at the Agege Stadium? Drama. and that's the beauty of the Nigeria Professional Football League. I was speaking to some of our journalist colleagues here in the UK, and I'm like, you guys have the EPL, but you need to say our MPFL. It's arguably the most competitive football league in the world. Shout out to MFM for that comeback.
It is because they were 2 goals down, and then Ime Atobosi pulls 1 back, and that was like around 80th minute. And then before you know it, 97th minute, 97, when it was almost over.
There you go.
That was when he broke their hearts. I mean, Rivers United were thinking of taking all 3 points.
The time they even started the fight was so admirable. At this point, some people would have given up, but they kept fighting because it's not over until it is over. And this is what I say about this MFM team. They don't respect anyone.
Wow.
And that's what has been pushing them and keeping them in the league. Remember, guys, when they were struggling, going away before Coach Olalekan Gabriel came, now they got stabilized. And look at how they're picking it up. And if they've been like this all season, who knows, with the way the league has been, probably they would have been in maybe the top 5. Look at Kwara United, for instance.
Yeah. Well, also, we want to thank you so much for taking our time to join us this morning. You can go on and on and talk about this game, the drama that happened, especially in the 97th minute. Thank you so much.
I know. Thank you so much, Cecilia. Thank you, Tayo. Always a delight to be on the show.
All right, let's get reactions from the game.
To bring the turn out of the game, and most of the players, they will have to tell them what to do. You can see the man score the first goal, playing deeply to like see if he playing attack, and as attacking midfielder. So we just give him, just go and join the attack, so that we have many more hands to get us a goal, which will lead to the first goal. And the second goal, the same thing. The man comes in, you can see the both changes. Both of them get us a very good, important goal that makes the team to be very happy. There's a lot of mistakes, misunderstanding between the goalkeeper and the defense, and which lead to the first goal. But we still go on, make sure we tackle up the events that happened there. I can see the second goal also came a little bit error from the side. Well, let's talk about it, but it's not something that we need to joke about that. But the team goes coming back to make sure we wrap it up, we take away the insult from the team. I wish we have never lost in this ground. I think Ifeanyi Ubah is a do or die match for us to make sure we get it.
It's unfortunate. It's a match that we should have wrapped up since. But I think our players were complacent in the defense at the 9th minute of the game. We were very complacent. I think the game is not over until it's over. That's what we should have, focused on. And again, I think we are very wasteful in this second half too. We had a lot of chances which would have converted, but our attackers were very wasteful in front of goal. We should have made it like 3-4 before this we came back. So, but it's football. I think we have to get it right some other time. I think it's a big setback too, because if we had the 3 points at stake, it will really push us further in the log. But I think we can still go back and work, for other games and then see how we can go with them, how we can get those points.
Yeah, I mean, they were complacent, and not only that, they thought they won the game home dry, but not knowing that MFM, they never say that attitude. When you know their slogan, I mean,
he should have known.
He should have known that MFM are a team that will fight to the death, and that's what they did until the final whistle. 97th minute. Oops. How heartbreaking is that? Michael Mbonu. I think Rivers United will always remember that name.
Frustrating end to the game for Stanley Eguma and Rivers United. A win would have taken them to 62 points, and they would have been well placed to perhaps qualify for the Confederation Cup or even the Champions League as well too, because they would have been level.
Now.
It's not looking too good.
It's not looking too good at all.
Let's look at the papers before we go, Cecilia, quickly.
Complete Sports here. Complete Sports. You have Dele Bashiru makes a first Watford appearance in 9 months. We've simply forgotten about him. Remember on the 20 level? Yeah,
I remember the World Cup. Tom Dele Bashiru.
Yeah, Tom Dele Bashiru.
Yeah, I remember him. 5 Nigerians, thereabouts in Watford now. That's like that's a Miami Heat of the Premier League.
The Osimhen is genuinely incredible. That's, okay, that's according to Palmer Youth Coach. It keeps aim for greater things.
Wax and lyrical about this.
It's been on and on and on. And when he says, I still dream of playing in England.
Why not?
Wow, but he found a home.
Why not?
But then he can work hard and be able to get that. Real Madrid rejects Pogba's offer in Ferrari deal. Rashford pleads for Pogba to stay. All right. Okay, then let's go to Sporting Life. The big story for me is Ogumbawo Abiola winning and smashing the national record for swimming after 14 years. I mean, when was the last time you had a swimmer in the front page, center of Sporting Life or any other You also have her right here. I mean, the corner. I don't like this corner that was put in.
But at least she's made an appearance.
She's on the front page. That's what is important.
Manchester United drops Ndidi's chase. Interesting. There's also NFF to Eagles and coaches expect outstanding bonuses and salaries soon.
We'll stop talking about that.
Exactly.
Just do it. Let's stop talking about it.
Mbappe pours cold water on Real Madrid links. Lewandowski will spend next 2 years at Bayern, so Chelsea can forget about him. Messi back in Barcelona. Alaba tests positive for COVID-19.
All right. We need to go now. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. Have a great day.
I am Tayo Salam. Join us again tomorrow.